Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Inner Wisdom, and this video is going to be demonstrating to you how to perform Spirit Flame Divination. So before I go into the demonstration, a couple of things I want to talk about in regards to Spirit Flame Divination. Number one, this is not something I made myself. It's not something I came up with myself. I was first shown how to perform Spirit Flame Divination when I was working at the metaphysical shop a few years ago. And there was a woman there that did this workshop and showed us how to do Spirit Flame Divination. I can't recall how she came up with it, and I don't even remember the woman's name. I think her name was Sue, but she showed us how to do Spirit Flame Divination. It was about this time of year too. We were doing workshops for Samhain. It's October when I'm recording this. Now, I am just going to show you how I do it, but when I actually do it myself, I use specific tools and I perform it in a specific way. But for the demonstration here, I'm not going to do the whole thing that I do, obviously, because that I do in a very controlled way. But unless you're here with me in person and we're doing divination together in person, there are some things I'm going to be keeping to myself. So let's get on with the demonstration. So the things that you need in order to perform Spirit Flame Divination is a candle holder, a taper candle. I use oil to dress my candle, and today I'm going to be using frankincense. The color candle I normally would use is white or black, and I have a specific candle that I dress in order to do this divination, but for this demonstrative purpose I'm using an extra gold candle I have. Now, when you're considering the color of the candle, consider what you're doing. So I'm doing divination to talk to spirits, a spirit flame. The flame of the candle is what is going to be giving me the messages. So I am going to use a candle that is in correspondence with spirits, and generally, like I said, I use black or white, but for the demonstration I'm using the gold. And when I'm considering to dress the candle, I have a specific oil mixture that I use specifically for this divination, but for the demonstrative purposes I'm using frankincense today. But I have a mix, and I would encourage you to have maybe an herbal mix or have an oil mix. And I use specific carvings. I use the Theban alphabet when I'm doing any sort of dressing for this particular divination or any other divination when I'm dealing with the spiritual realm. Something to light your candle you're going to need, and then what you're going to need is some sort of cardstock. Now, this is just cardstock. This was an 8x10 that I cut in half. But if you get index cards that are, you know, this weight, you want it to be thick because you're going to be burning into the paper, and you don't want to burn the paper away. When I show you, you'll see what I mean. But a thin piece of 8x10 is not going to work for you. So you want to have a heavier cardstock, but not like cardboard. That's going to be too heavy. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dress the candle. And like I said, I'm just going to anoint it for this demonstration, but generally I have a specific oil mix that I use, and I would use that. But I am going to dress my candle, and while I'm dressing the candle, I'm going to be thinking about the spiritual realm. I'm going to get myself into a visualization of it when I do it, but I am going to dress the candle. I would myself be etching the candle, and the candle preparation is an important part of this particular divination, because as you are dressing the candle, as you are etching, as you are imbuing the candle with your intentions, it's a form of candle magic is basically what it is. So if you approach it in that way, then you're going to put the candle in the candle holder. Now I generally do this on my ancestor altar where I honor the dead. I also would do this particular divination because that's who I'm speaking with when I'm performing this. So that's the first way. This is ready for the next step. Okay, so then after the candle is dressed, I am going to, and I've imbued it with my intention, I'm going to light the candle. Now, when I light the candle, I generally say some words, like a spell, like a chant, an incantation. So you can say exactly whatever it is that you say. So I'm just going to give you an example. I'm not going to give you the one I use, but I'll give you an example. So, as I light this flame, I call forth the spirits from beyond the veil and ask them to share with me any messages that would be for my most highest good at this point. Share with me those words that you wish to speak. Share with me within the flame any messages. So mote it be. Come to this with the intention that you're performing a divination, an act of divination. It's sort of like candle magic, but because I have a specific understanding and way that I perform spells, I wouldn't look at this as a spell per se, but I can definitely see how someone would see this as a spell. So, at this point, I generally take a few moments and stare into the flame, make sure that I'm connected, make sure I get whatever that sensation is that you would get that tells you you're connected, you're ready to receive the messages. Then at this point, I'm going to slide up the camera because you're going to need to see what's happening at this point. At this point, you're going to take the paper and you're going to put it above the flame so that it hits the flame but doesn't completely burn, and you're going to move it around the flame. And I'm going to move it around until I feel I'm complete. And then you turn over the image and you read it. So you're looking at this for symbols, for signs, for images, and that's how you read. This is the message that came forth. So you look at it and you try to, okay, so for me here, I see a face, a smile, and this is an eye, and this is another eye, and this is the outline of the face right here. So I see a face, and then I contemplate what that might mean. I look at that face and I say, it's a smiley face, and actually it looks like a jack-o'-lantern for me. So there's something about the image of a jack-o'-lantern. What do I associate with a jack-o'-lantern? Turn it another way. Actually, I see a violin as well here. This is the outline of the violin with the stem that you hold on your shoulder. So that's what that's what you do, and then you look. It's sort of scrying in a way. So let me show you from the top view what it looks like when you use the paper. So again, this is the same thing, and you could do this more than once. So looking from this end, you're putting it down so that you can see the flame, but you don't want to burn the paper. You want to be careful not to burn the paper. And you want to be careful you don't put the flame out. So you just move it around until you feel and then you turn it over and you look at this one. Came out a lot darker, so I would look at this and see what sort of image I get. Make sure you turn it. Let me move the candle. Make sure you turn it in different ways to get the idea of what it might mean. This is where you're going to open up to your intuitive thinking and look at it and look for the images. And that's where the divination part comes in. So yes, this is how I do Spirit Flame Divination. So if you have any questions about how to do this yourself, or questions that maybe I hadn't considered, if you do decide to practice Spirit Flame Divination, please share your images on my Facebook. So I can take a look and we can talk about what you see in these images. It's a wonderful thing to do this time of year because right now it's October and Samhain's coming up, and it's even something you can do with your children. I used to do it with my kids when they were younger. But you definitely want to open up to your intuitiveness, and it's not a game. It is definitely something that's fun, but you're really getting messages from beyond when you do it with the intention that you can receive messages. So until next time, I love you. Mwah.